As architecture students, in this context of climate emergency and social crisis, we feel it's important to deal with what directly impacts the territories where we grew up. Since home ownership policies were introduced, single-family homes account for 3/4 of property purchased in France. While 77% of French households aspire to own a single-family home, it is estimated that 90% of these homes are built by promoters. The site project is located in the south of France. The township of Cabriès is at the pericenter of the metropolitan area of Marseille and Aix-en-Provence, and its proximity to the infrastructure of the department make it a particularly attractive area. We have paced this territory and met with local actors in order to better understand its issues. Our study of the site completes 2 studies, the historical and morphological work of René Boruet, teacher and researcher in Marseille, and the landscape diploma of Serena Palazzi. In addition, the urban situation of Cabriès and its many urban types offer a varied area to study, of which we distinguish 3 urban types who define the project densities: sparse individual housing, housing estates, and group housing in the old center. The landscape of Cabriès, typical of the Mediterranean, is made up of horizontal strata, the massif, the foothills, and the agricultural plains. This landscape is today threatened by urban sprawl and the suburban model. The suburban model means to live in an individual universe responding to a collective order. It's an artificial landscape that replaces existing agriculture to the detriment of the history of these territories, the detached house responding to a demand for which only the architecture seems to be absent. Our strategy at the departmental scale is to reconnect to the department infrastructure. At the municipality level, strengthening soft mobility and agriculture. At the local scale, we introduce by 3 proposals a new densification strategy to preserve landscapes. In Calas, we reveal the pre-existing features of the site, historic castle, basin axis, by the installation of 30 individual dwellings in a strip. The current facilities are rebuilt and the wall is connected by a new public space. This project stands as a critique to its built context. By proposing a clear position for the public space, the private house and the parking, it allows the role of the architect in the planning of the centers to be reconsidered. Cabriès, on its rocky peak, is the symbol of the township. By building 26 individual and stacked social housing units on the slope, we are experimenting with local urbanism plan and trying to solve the parking problem that pollute the village. As the image of the provincial villages, the mineral and pedestrian public space at the center allows to go up to the historical core and the view, but also as an appropriable place of transition between public and private. In the continuity of the work of Serena Palazzi, the project proposed a political and citizen experience around the question of inhabitation, the problems of flood zones and agriculture on private plots. Aware of the uniqueness of each situation, the aim of this last project was to set up a framework for the establishment of a collective order. Consisting of walls and edges, this framework proposed a new organization at the street front. These walls constitute the first strata of the landscape. The floors that crossing this one open up to the other strata. Supported by the conviction that the territory cannot be constituted without a collective and landscape vision, this project synthesizes our student architect visions on individual housing and the environment.